Click on This with your hosts, Crystal Milana and Sabrina Taylor-Smith, and produced by Capri Productions.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Mike. I'm here with Click on This, and we are at the Safehouse premiere. We're here with Johnny Alonso, one of the big fish in the film. Johnny, why don't you tell us a little bit about the film and your experience with it?
Sure, man. Safehouse. It was picked up by Artist View Entertainment. We shot it about a year ago, mainly in Maryland. Predominantly in Maryland, Prince George's County. Spencer Johnson is our executive producer. We had Thomas Calabro from Melrose Place, who played Dr. Mancini. He was a sidekick to the movie, as well as Robert Miano, one of the starring leads from Sopranos, and Donnie Brasco. And then you had this schmuck, Johnny Alonso, played next to him. So it was a great movie. We had a great turnout. You know, it was almost a sold-out house at the Senator tonight. And it's just great to be back in town, man. I mean, we missed the East Coast. You know, Paisan actor Sotto will tell you, he's back in Los Angeles all the time. But we love coming back to the East Coast.
Well, it's great. It's great to have you back, Johnny. One thing we noticed during the film, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers wanted to know, is did you do anything special to really get into your character? I mean, you really seemed really into it, you know? I mean,
well, thank you. I had some motivation, a couple things. Well, first of all, this is my coach, Robert Christie. When I left New York, after I left NYU, this guy, he's the only one in town that teaches Meisner theory. And that's what I go through as an actor, and I knew you're an actor as well. And I don't know if you work with the Meisner theory, but this guy is the best in town. So I used him to sharpen my skills. When it came to Safehouse, I used him with my script, and I said, listen, help me chime in a character. So my character, you know, I didn't want to play the stereotypical, you know, secret agent, spy guy that, you know, loses his job. No, screw that. I decided to play it with more of a heart. So I brought my script with him. And he helped me, what, 4 or 5 weeks? Yeah. Whatever it was. Yeah, 5 weeks. Right. And we finally chimed in, and we got a character, and you can see the passion. You know, and I had a fun time because it's not my stereotypical character of, like, the leather jacket clad. You know, the guy, the rebel with a heart. No, this guy, he really meant what he wanted, and he was trying to seek vengeance for his old partner that was killed by the bad guys.
That's great. Now, Al, let me ask you, do you have any advice for aspiring actors out there as to what they could do to kind of help themselves get into their characters a little bit more?
Yeah, the first thing, you know, Johnny's actually my model on that one. He is probably the best network I've ever met. And this is a business where, you know, you have to be everywhere at once.
You do.
And when you are being constantly seen by somebody, especially these big leaguers, they know you're serious. They know you love what you do. And you can take the rejection on the chin. I don't think I've ever heard Johnny come to me with a, you know, tear in his eyes. Oh, I just lost another one. No, he always picked up his spirits, got back out there. He was never afraid to go to a coach. He'd come to me and he'd say, "Look, I got this modern Shakespeare script. You know, I'm going to go try out for it." Turned out to be the
it was a DiCaprio movie.
Yes,
yeah,
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And he is earnest enough to say, you know, I understand a lot of scripts, but this one doesn't quite grab me. And he came to me. And also, he's such a, you know, he soaks it in so well. So I explained to him something, he goes, "Oh, I see what you mean." And then he goes with it. Well, you know, never, ever stop being a student. Dustin Hoffman said, "The day I stop learning is the day I stop doing this."
Very good point. Very good point, Mike.
And, now, you know, we forget to mention this guy's an Emmy winner. You know.
It's gold-plated. Don't believe a word he says.
Well, it sounds like you had a great teacher. So
I did. Thank you. I did. And I mean, with my colleagues, I mean, you know, I got Robert Christie, I got Al Sotto, and of course, I got model Nikki. And we'll talk about her in a second. This guy with below the belt, you know, I mean, you run your interview, but basically, he's been also my counterpart in Hollywood. Talk about it, Paisan.
We've been fortunate enough to be joined with Al from Below the Belt. Al, why don't you tell us a little bit about
Thank you very much.
On?
I appreciate the time here on your program, BelowTheBeltShow.com, the very popular talk show on the internet, video, audio-based podcast, BelowTheBeltShow.com. You can check it out. We had a great time here at the Safehouse screening. The red carpet finale was awesome.
Now, to be honest with you, I'm fortunate enough to just be asking you some questions. I saw this guy all night. He was asking everybody questions, and I'm interviewing the interviewer right now. It's kind of a unique opportunity.
I love it. I think it's great.
I kind of thought we would just fire questions off at each other. It would be kind of confusing because we're both full of questions. Right?
Great. Well, ask me whatever you want, man. You know, I'm not used to it, but hey, I got it here tonight, brother.
Well, it's good to have you. And we're actually very, very fortunate to be joined by a great group of people.
He's another one who's everywhere at once.
He is, man. This guy, I can't turn my phone off of him text messaging me at least 20 times a day. But I love him to death. No, he's my brother. He's my brother. And Mikey, let me tell you something. What my coach just said tonight, you have to continue to be hungry. You have to be. I mean, look, Al Sotto, Robert Christie, myself, we're in Los Angeles. We do the market. And it's not an easy gig. Yeah, we got a premiere here in Baltimore. It's fantastic. But you know what, in L.A., if you don't have the chops, you won't succeed. And these guys will vouch for me. I mean, this is a new model. This is Nikki from Vegas. Point is,
tell us a little bit about Nikki.
Yeah. Well, we got a Hallister campaign that's going on in 010. Oh, she's so hot. You don't want to look at me. You want to look at her. Yeah. And, I mean, come on. Face it. I mean, look at me.
Johnny who? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's all about Nikki. Point is this. You got to know where you got to be. You got to be in the right place at the right time. And these guys know. Paisan, how long has your show been on the air?
Almost 10 years, Pi.
Exactly. So guess what? Mikey, I mean, I know you're in the business, and you knew. 10 years to making, and he's finally making his name. He's in the rounds. I mean, everybody knows him at the WWF. I mean, this guy's huge. Robert Christie, he's finally made his mark. You know, she's making a mark in the modeling scene. You as an actor, you just have to continue. And that's our advice to everybody that's watching, from all of us to you.
And also, be directable. I directed a movie called The Church.
Yes, I was
and I had been coaching Johnny all along, and now it gave me the chance to actually direct him in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed by the fact that as experienced as he is and as knowledgeable as he is, he wasn't full of himself. He would, in fact, in between takes, this was exact lines. He'd go, "Maestro, what do you got for me?" He wanted to know what I wanted, what I was feeling, you know, and he was
venomous, venomous.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's just sitting there, just taking it in, and then
5 seconds. Yeah.
Gotcha. And when I go to the next take, he nails it.
There you go.
Well, before we all freeze to death here, Al, I did just want to ask you one more thing.
Sure, absolutely.
You guys are located in Baltimore, right?
Absolutely. We do a weekly show in Baltimore. However, if we get invited to Los Angeles or New York, we'll cover an event. BelowTheBeltShow.com is where you can check it out.
Great. Well, thanks, Al. Thanks, Johnny. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paisan. He wants to plug his website.
rcfeature.com. That's it.
And JohnnyAlonso.com, and you can find Nikki. Well, hopefully I'll be able to find Nikki after tonight because I'm so drunk. JohnnyAlonso.com. That's it.
That's it for us, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Take care.